So how's it guys, I'm Jordy, and in this video I'll be showing you 10 upcoming RPGs that will be out by the end of the year. There's a lot of RPGs still to come out this year, but I feel like these are the ones you should be on the lookout for. This list contains typical RPGs you would expect, but I threw in some that are a wee bit different from the norm. So with all that said, let's get into the list. If you've played classic RPGs like Final Fantasy and Earthbound, this game's style will be recognisable immediately. In this indie RPG you'll fight over 100 different types of monsters, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. It'll be up to you to adapt to each fight to succeed. You also get to explore the world of Avi, I think that's how you pronounce it, collecting items, gathering materials and doing side quests for the inhabitants. The devs have said that the game's about 10 hours long, so this is a perfect game for just jumping in and playing. You don't need to invest 60 hours of your time like other RPGs. What if we took Dark Souls and made it a bit anime? That's what developer Acne Game Studio said, I think. And then they made Asterigos Curse of the Stars. This game is a Souls-like in which you play as a young warrior on a quest to save her father. You explore environments based on Greek mythology and battle over 20 bosses during your playthrough. I'm not the biggest fans of Souls-like games, but this one is actually one I'm pretty interested in. I like how it doesn't look like typical Souls-like games where it's just all dark and gritty, it's actually a bit bright and vibrant. This footage you're seeing right here is actually me playing the demo. Yes, I'm very good at Souls games. And yeah, I can confirm this game is actually pretty fun, so definitely look out for this one. Picture this. You take the British gangster movie Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, and you turn it into an RPG. You get Sunday Gold. This is an interesting game as it's a point and click puzzle game with turn-based combat and leveling systems to upgrade your characters. Set in future England, you play as Frank Barber, a criminal who along with his team will need to expose the dark secrets of a mega corporation and put a stop to the evil billionaire behind it. Just like with typical British gangster movies, expect a lot of sarcasm, dry sense of humour, violence, needless swearing, and of course, a nice cold pint in the pub. Just like with the previous game, Asterigos Curse of the Stars is actually a demo for Sunday Gold on Steam, which will let you play about the first hour of the game, so give it a go and see if you like it and, get the full game when it comes out. This next game might just have the most colourful and creative art style on the list. This game is an action RPG set in an isometric perspective, where you need to explore a number of unique alien worlds, battling enemies, solving puzzles and doing quests. This game has a choice-driven story where you'll need to make decisions that affect it. I'm going to assume these choices will be along the lines of being good or just being a bastard. The developers are Stormmind Games, who've previously made the Remothered games, which are horror games based on the Clock Tower series. So this is the first time they're making an RPG game, which is obviously a bit of a concern, but from the footage I've seen and the way the game looks, it looks like it's got a really fast, fun combat system, and the game's presentation obviously looks fantastic. So I'm pretty confident this one will be good at least. They said it would never happen. Persona would only be on PlayStation consoles, especially the Switch. The game's just too big for the Switch. Well, a few months ago, Persona 5 Royal was finally announced to be coming out for not only the Nintendo Switch, but the Xbox and PC. I'm a massive fan of this game, so much so that I've actually platinumed both Persona 5 and the Royal version on PS4. In this game, you play as the guy from Smash, as he and his fellow Phantom Thieves steal the hearts of corrupt adults in Japan. You'll need to summon your persona to fight off the enemies in this game, and you can also even create even stronger personas. All the while, you need to be a good student, study for your tests, work part-time jobs, and of course, have your teacher clean your room. This game has been talked about so much, to the point where it could easily be seen as overrated, but trust me, it really isn't. This is without a doubt one of the best modern JRPGs ever made, and if you haven't played a Persona game before, then this is a must play and you will definitely become a fan of the franchise once you've played this one. I've got a bit of a confession to make. I've never actually played a Star Ocean game before. I remember being in the game shops back in the day and seeing Star Ocean The Last Hope on the shelves, and I was interested in it. But at the time I was a poor student and I could only afford pre-owned games for £7, and then I just never ended up buying it. Maybe I should actually get it before this new one comes out. Anyways, the Divine Force is the latest Star Ocean game coming out this year, and it's supposed to have the fastest and craziest combat of the series so far. You play as this blonde guy called Raymond Lawrence. I never thought I'd play an RPG where I'm called Raymond. So yeah, you play as Raymond Lawrence, whose ship is attacked and he crash lands on an underdeveloped planet. He meets a princess fighting against an invading empire, and so they team up to stop the invasion and change the galaxy. Like I said, I've not played a Star Ocean game before, but considering this one's coming out soon and it looks interesting, I think I'll definitely be picking this one up, just so I can see how the series actually is. Oh yeah, quick question by the way. Do you like farming? Well, if you said yes, you'll like this next game. Now, I'm not into farming games. I bought Animal Crossing on the Switch, which was actually my first time playing the series, and I only put in a few hours before getting bored and I actually sold it. So seeing Harvestella for the first time, I thought, oh look, it's a 3D Stardew Valley. No thanks. Then I seen it was made by Square Enix and there was some combat in it, and I was like, okay Harvestella, I'm looking at you, what else you got? And then I seen there's a bigger emphasis on the combat and there's a compelling story to go along with it. And on top of all that, it looks brilliant graphically. I'm still not too keen on the farming stuff, but I'll give it a go at least, and as long as the combat's fun, I'm sure I'll enjoy it. And if this game does well commercially, then we could see the beginning of a new franchise underneath Square Enix's already massive umbrella. Speaking of past Square Enix franchises, Tactics Ogre Reborn is a remaster of Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together on the PSP, which is a remake of the original Tactics Ogre on the Super Famicom. This version, however, will contain revised battle mechanics, remastered sound and music, and full English and Japanese voice acting for you to choose from. This is the only game on the list that's a tactical game. You'll move your troops around three-dimensional battlefields while the enemy tries to outmaneuver you. You'll get to change your unit classes to create unique builds, and progress through the game and be rewarded with multiple endings. Normally I stick to Fire Emblem for these type of games, but Tactics Ogre is a series that's renowned for this type of gameplay, and without a doubt the best way to play this game will be this brand new remastered version. The next entry in a series you've probably heard a couple times before. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is the 9th entry in the Pokemon franchise. Continuing on where Sword and Shield left off on the Switch, Scarlet and Violet takes place in an open world that includes areas such as cities, forests and deserts. It also looks like they're going back to allowing you to tackle the game as you see fit, so you can do the gyms in any order you like. I've not played any Pokemon games since Gold and Silver, but I'm interested in getting back into them, and these games seem like the best time to do so. Also, if you're not on Team Cave Mummy, then leave. Unsub if you're already subbed. No, I'm just kidding, please stay, come back. Back in 2020, fans finally got their hands on the remake for Final Fantasy VII. It was met with universal praise for bringing the beloved game to the modern age, and fans are excited to see where the future games will go, as it looks like they're not only making remakes, but they're retelling the story. But before that, we have a remake of the PSP game, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, which acts as a prologue to the main game. You play as Zack Fair, a member of Soldier who discovers a terrible secret the mega corporation Shinra is keeping, and how it relates to your fellow soldier and teammate Sephiroth. The game uses the same combat as 7's remake, but it also looks like it's implementing the DMW mechanic from the original Crisis Core. The system was actually called the Digital Mind Wave, which is essentially a slot machine in which you'll get different bonuses depending on what the slot lands on. The thing I'm more interested in though is how the story will change. If this game's going to alter things like 7's remake did, then I can't wait to see what they do with Reunion. I mean, if you've played the original Crisis Core or you know what happens in it, you know exactly what part of the story I'm referring to. And that's all the games I'm looking forward to this fall. There's plenty of more RPGs out there, but they didn't make it into this video. I encourage you to seek these other games out if the ones on my list didn't interest you. But if this video did help you or you were simply entertained, then please leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and yeah, I will see you guys later.